systems. A violin virtuoso living in America truly believed that he could play so well that he actually charmed a savage beast. Despite the warnings and pleas of his friends, he decided he would go to the darkest Africa unarmed with only his violin. He stood in a clearing in the dense jungle and began to play. He stood and play. An elephant received his scent and came charging towards him. But when he came within hearing distance, he sat down to listen to the beautiful music. A panther sprang from the trees with fangs, beard, but also succumbed to the music. Soon a lion appeared to join the others. Before long, many wild animals were seated near the virtuoso. He played on unharmed. Just then, a leopard leaped from a nearby tree onto the violinist and devoured him. As he stood licking his chops, the other animals approached and asked, "Why did you do that?" The man was playing such loving music. The leopard cupped his ears and said, what did you say?" So you see, no matter how beautiful music is, unfortunately, if you can't hear it, it doesn't mean a thing. Similarly to no matter how helpful the systems in this book are, they won't do you a bit of good if you don't use them. I do hope most of you have given some time and thought to them. If you have, you should be pleased with the progress you made. The flexibility of the systems, I believe, is the greatest asset. I personally have yet to come across anything pertaining to memory to which the systems were not applicable. Take the necessary time to learn how to make conscious associations, and once you've mastered it, it will take care of itself. Every once in a while, you may come across some piece of information that you want to remember that is made to order for an association. If you want to remember that certain item sold for 1779, you could of course use the peg words as you've been taught. However, you have all heard of Spirit of 76. That phrase will create a picture for most of us of the famous portrayal of the Spirit of 76, a man with a drum, a man with a fife, and the third holding our flag. If you were to associate the item in question with this picture, you would recall that 776 was the price. The Japanese volcano Fujiyama is 12,365 feet high. Again, you could use the peg word to remember this, or you could associate Fujiyama to calendar. So we can say for a calendar is that the number of feet is the amount of months in a year, 12, and the amount of days in a year is 365. You would associate calendar either to volcano or a substitute word for Fujiyama. I'm not suggesting that you do this with all numbers. The peg system is the only infallible one. However, looking for numbers that fall into this category is good for your imagination and observation, and it helps create an interest in numbers. In an early chapter, I told you that you could remember the names of quintuplets by remembering the word Macy. Now you know that in order to remember Macy, you might see Macy's department store completely packed with quints, etc. If you want to know the name for living quints, drop an odd E for Emily. And you'll remember Mary, Annette, Cecile, and Yvonne. This idea would aid you in recalling the names of the 5 Great Lakes. If you made a picture in your mind of a lot of homes on a Great Lake, you would always remember that lakes are Lake Huron, Ontario, Michigan, Erie, and Superior. If you've learned to make up substitute words quickly and easily, this will become your greatest move towards a better memory. Actually, I should say substitute thoughts or pictures. You know by now that it is the picture created in your mind that's important, not the word itself. Did you know that the capital of New Mexico is Santa Fe? Well, make a picture of Santa Claus wearing a Mexican sombrero, and you'll probably never forget it. If you see yourself throwing a little rock at an arc, you'll have no trouble recalling the little rock is the capital city of Arkansas. Do you know a girl whose name is Helen or Helena? Picture her climbing a mountain to help you remember that Helena is the capital of Montana. If you picture a boy eating raw potatoes, you'll remember that Boise is the capital of Idaho potatoes. Of course, you could picture Idaho boys and get the same result. You can easily memorize the capitals of all 48 states with this idea. You understand, I'm sure, that it would be impossible for me to give direct examples of how my systems are applicable to all businesses. Be assured that they are applicable to just about anywhere. Memory is involved. Your own particular problem may require a certain twist or change of one of the systems, but you would know that better than I. Nowadays, most of us are diet conscious, and I've noticed people carry little calorie counters to tell them what not to eat. Well, this is fine, but you could use a PEG system to help memorize the amount of calories contained in the food you usually eat. If you made a ridiculous picture between fried egg and the seeds, You know the fried egg contained 100 calories. Did you know that 1 tablespoon of mayonnaise contains 92 calories? Well, if you associate it to bone, you won't forget it. If you keep gaining weight and you drink lots of beer, you ought to associate tackle to the beer. And do remember that 8 ounces glass contains 175 calories. If any of you still feel that it's too much trouble to use my methods, let me repeat that I call this the lazy man's way of remembering. It is the so-called natural or route method of memory that is difficult. Not only is it difficult, but not as efficient, not as retentive, not as rewarding, and not as much fun. Most importantly, my methods are all unlimited at the risk of seeming repetitious. You are limited only by your own imagination. I use the word repetitious, which reminded me to mention the fact that many students have trouble remembering that this word is spelled with an E or not an I. If you would print the word on a piece of paper, making that E extra large, make it stand out, repetitious, and look at it for a while. You won't misspell it again. If you want to catch your friends, ask them to spell the word liquefy. I think 9 out of 10 people will put an I before an F instead of an E. Print the word like this: liquefy. Look at and concentrate on it for a moment, and the chance are you'll spell it correctly from here on in. Try this with any word that you are not sure of, and you'll certainly improve your spelling. Many of the ideas that were taught to you were taught as memory feats. I've done this for a variety of reasons. First, I believe that it makes much easier to learn because you can actually see your goal. I've seen too many people start trying to learn something and then give it up midway because they couldn't see the use or benefit of it right in front of their eyes. Seeing the goal gives you an added incentive to learn. The fact that you can use the feats to entertain your friends is an extra added incentive. When you can do or understand the stunts, you've grasped the idea, and that's all I care about. Once you've got the idea, you will be able to apply it when you need it. This is where you must put your imagination to work. Any memory problem that may present itself can be solved by using one or more of the methods, systems, whether they are taught to you in the form of memory demonstration or otherwise. My purpose in writing this book has been to give you the basis and groundwork of trained memory. The systems are more far-reaching and more applicable than the space allowed me could possibly show. I do hope, however, that I have given you an inking for what can be done with my systems. The rest is up to you, and that's the end of the book.